Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I am Susan, your hostess, and we are going to be working on some sewing today, so I thought I'd turn on the camera and just show you what I have laid out here. Now, I pick up aprons all the time at thrift stores. This is a little half apron, has no pockets on it, and it has no bib. So I'm thinking this may be the bib, and I'll figure out pockets as I go along, and then I have some red fabric that's not quite the same color that I can do my neck strap in, so that will work out. And I'm just going to move these out of the way and just go through them as I see fit. This was another half apron, and it's a little bit longer than the other one. It does have a pocket on it. I like pockets on my aprons, y'all. So I'm going to lay this out. And my friend Deanna had sent me this fabric a while back. And it's very pretty. And so I'm just going to hold it up with this. That's going to be the bib, and probably the straps to go around the neck as well on that apron. Move this out of the way. And I had this apron that I picked up also at a thrift store. Just a little simple apron, small pockets on it, that's okay. And Deanna also sent me this fabric. I'm going to open it up. It's not enough to do the straps, but I do have a different color orange, and I do have some other fabrics that has orange in it to do the neck strap, but that will be the bib on this apron. So that's really, really cute. I appreciate my friend Deanna Grooms for sending all that. I have picked up 2 plain aprons, and I'm kind of up in the air about this one. It is a green apron. And I'm thinking more towards the men and not the ladies on this one. But I want to add some pockets. So, I have this fat quarter. And, of course, the pockets will be smaller than that. But it's got enough of the green popping in that I can use that on that apron for a pocket or 2. So that was my thought on that one. And this one is like a cranberry burgundy type color. It's also a plain Jane apron. And so that's the color, y'all. And I've got some red, white, and blue with stars in a fat quarter also. So I'm just going to open this up. I'm not sure which direction I will put this in yet, but that will be the pocket or pockets on this apron. I have to get them cut out. This is going to save me a lot of time sewing because these aprons are already finished. All I have to do is add the little embellishments that I want on here. And I'm thinking about calling my friend up and seeing how much she'll charge me to do a little bit of embroidery and put my name on those 2 aprons. And I have this apron, which I have not decided yet what I'm going to use. So we're going to do that on camera. This is here. This is a fat quarter in the plaid, which I could use as the bib, or I could use this really pretty fabric here as the bib. But I keep thinking about this trim that they put on here, and I'm thinking more along the lines of Christmas. So I've got some Christmas fabrics, and I want y'all to tell me in the comments below which one you think I should use. This one is a snowman. So that would be one of the choices. So that'll be choice A. And this one is, I've got some Santa Claus blocks on here. This was supposed to be a pillow top. So this will be choice B. So I'm just going to fold it where you can see it against that. That will be choice B. And this last one is also a Santa Claus. And this will be choice C. And he is playing ice hockey on this one. Trying to figure out which way to turn it because it's going in all different directions. So I guess it doesn't really matter. So that will be choice C. So I want y'all to let me know in the comments below which choice I should use for the bib on this apron. So that's a little fun thing for me to do with these. And we're going to get into our sewing projects here that I'm going to be doing today. When I get my sewing machine set up and get everything set out, I want to be able to do everything that I have planned for sewing all at once. But I want to show y'all, I have made my own apron pattern. This is the pattern I use for all my aprons that I began my YouTube channel with. And so I'm going to add another piece to this because I want to add the D-ring, you know, for the straps. But this is the apron ties for the neck, and I've got written on there cut 1. This is my apron pattern, and it's got a fold line there, and I've got all kinds of directions on where I'm putting everything, and it's a cut 1 piece also. And I had to piece my paper to make it long enough. And I just keep this in a Ziploc bag, y'all. All my pieces and what the pattern is. And this is my straps to tie with. And again, I pieced it. So I make sure that they're extra long. And we're going to get that folded up. And this is my pocket pattern. And I make 2 pockets on my aprons. So this would be the size, and you can put the pockets long ways or sideways. I prefer it sideways, but you know, if you want deep pockets, I can make them extra deep with that. This apron right here for just a moment, just to give you a clear fabric so you can kind of see what I'm laying out here. And these are really cute. It's just, this is the body and the wing. I got the wing backwards. Wing goes like that. And I'm missing a piece here. This is the beak. This little bitty piece is the beak. And there should be another piece. There it is. And this is the comb that goes on the top of the head. So that's the pieces. So they're some really tiny pieces in this. And again, I keep everything in a Ziploc bag. It just makes it easier for me. And so I'm going to set this up on the pattern. On this here, and I'm going to kind of hold it up so you can see it. This is the fabric I'm using for the body of the hen. And I just went through my scraps, y'all, and decided that what I was going to use. And then I just had a orange, kind of a yellowy orange for the beak. And then I had this red for the comb, and the comb is going to go in behind the head. And hopefully I'm going to get a couple of pins and just pin it so it will not fall apart when I'm lifting it up for you to see. Because it's just really, really cute. And this may be an embellishment I might be putting on aprons in the future, or pot holders, or a number of things. that in there. And I gotta get this beak. Let me pin the beak. And that ought to be enough for you to see how cute that chicken is. Isn't that cute? And then I'll do a little embroidered eye on up here also to make it look real. So I thought that was just really, really cute. So that's my idea there. And of course I've got 2 of those cut out. I haven't decided what I was going to do with them yet. The pattern I'm using today is McCall's Home Decorating M6051. It's got a lot of things in here, y'all. A lot of things. And I bought this pattern particularly because I need an ironing board cover. I wanted the little bag here for your clothespins and the hanger covers. I thought they were really cute. Of course, the apron's cute, and the little boxes back here, and this little bag here is cute as well, but I'm using 3 of the patterns out of this. And I have cut out all my pieces, and I've got to get them in order. That's something different. We'll go with these first. I've got a lot of extra fabric over here. So we're going to get rid of that. So I've got the zebra print, you can see that, but this particular pattern is for the bag. And all of these are folded in half, and you cut out your pattern. So I've got 2 layers of fabric here. This is a canvas type fabric. This is the back of the bag. This is the front of the bag. And again, there's 2 pieces cut. I cut one at a time, and then I layered the pattern on top of the other fabric and cut it out as well. And this is the top of the bag, which will go over your hanger. And again, there's 2 pieces there for that pattern. So I'm just going to take it apart and get my good pin cushion here, because I really don't need it right now. Need these pins. And I'm going to go ahead and get my pieces folded up and get them back into the pattern, because I don't want to lose my pattern pieces. So this is number 4. And this is what it looks like opened up. And this would be the inside of the bag, or the outside, because you could flip it and have it either way, since it's going to be a lined bag. So that would be the top of the bag. This is the front of the bag. Get my pins out. Did y'all know that this little thing on the end here is to sharpen your needles, because sometimes your needles get really dull? That's what it's for. I've lost it off this one. This one is a really old pin cushion. So again, I'm going to get this pattern folded up. We're going to get it put back in the bag in a moment. And I always try to crease it on the same line, so I am not recreasing that pattern. So again, this would be the outside of the bag, and this would be the inside of the bag. Or vice versa, you know, because you can change it out. If you get bored with it one way, you can turn it another. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay these out so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like whichever direction I go with. And this is the back of the bag that I'm unpinning now. And it will be the first project that I'm working on. So we're going to go ahead and get this folded up, get it out of our way. Always folding on the same lines because you don't want a big, you know, having to press out your pattern pieces and have 100 different lines going on. So this would be on the back of the bag. This would be on the inside of the bag if you were doing it in that direction. So I'm going to line this up. We're going to pin the pieces just so you can see what I'm talking about. They're not going to match exactly because, you know, it's just the way the pattern is, but I'm just going to kind of pin this to give you an idea what this bag is going to look like when it's finished. And it's going to be a good size clothespin bag. So let me get these up here pinned. And this is just to kind of give you an idea of what this bag would look like finished. And then this would go across the top. And I'm going to pin. Just a couple of pins up here to kind of hold it together. And this would be, of course, if I decide to use the blue stripes on the outside. So that's what you would get. And I can flip it over and we can do the other side and let you see that as well. That's one good thing about when you line a project like this. You can kind of pick and choose what you want showing. So I think it's going to look really cute when it's finished. Of course, it's a laundry, you know, it's for laundry, it's for clothespins, but we want fun things in our life. So I'm going to flip this over. And we're going to do the opposite. And I'm just going to go ahead and pin it again. Give you the idea. This will be my first project that I will put together for y'all. And I don't know if I'll get all of them on this video or not. But this is how I do my sewing. It's kind of cute either way. I think you'll like this. Get a needle that's sharp. It's a lot of layers to go through, so this would be the other way. So isn't that cute? Either way would be cute. I think I like this leopard print on the inside though, so we'll probably go that route with that. But it'd be cute either way. And there's my pattern pieces so I don't lose them. This one is a hanger cover, and I've only got one cut out, but I want to do several of these. And you have to cut 2 of them. And you probably could fold this in half and save on your cutting. But you'd have to do 2 layers of fabric at the same time. And that is the fabric I'm using that I picked up at a thrift store for almost nothing, y'all. That's pattern piece number 3 out of this. And this last one is an ironing board cover. And it's quite long, so I can't really hold it up too well and show you. But it is folded in half. So you're seeing half of that. And I'm fixing to lay it out on my ironing board to make sure that it's going to fit this ironing board. Because this is an old antique ironing board, it is wooden topped. It's not the modern metal top. So I'm going to take this old cover off. I'm going to lay this out. I'm going to see how it looks. If I need to add anything to the sides, I can do that. but and I have plenty of this fabric left over, or I have some that are kind of contrasting that I can use with it. I mean, it's just for me ironing on. But I picked out something pretty that I liked, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So I want to get my other applique back in my bag and get all this stuff cleaned up so we can lay that out on the ironing board. So I'll be right back. So this is the fabric that I have picked out, and I have cut, and I wanted to see if it's going to fit this ironing board or if I'm going to have to add some to it. And believe it or not, it is actually going to fit the ironing board. So that's really a good thing. I was worried about that, but it's going to be beautiful on here with the floral print. And I can put my iron back on there now. This is basically, I may have to pull out my serger and serge the edge, or I can just turn up a very small seam, and then I'm going to put elastic all the way around this so that it stretches and I can put it over the ironing board. So that is the idea behind that. So I'm really thrilled, y'all. I'm going to get some much needed sewing done today. I'm going to do a little bit of sewing with y'all, but there's a lot of steps in going through this, and I wanted to show y'all a few of them. Let me grab my pattern pieces. When you are doing a pattern, it comes with instructions on how you put your pieces together. And so this is the pattern instructions for the hanger cover. And then over here is the instructions for the clothespin bag. So you have to look through that. On the front, of this, it shows you all the pieces there, and then down here it has a key to tell you, okay, I want to make clothespin holders, so what pieces do I need? And so I needed number 4, number 5, and number 6 for that. So that's in the instructions on here. And y'all, read this, because a lot of times when you get to making things, you just kind of wing it and you mess up. And so here is the instructions for the ironing board cover. And it shows you how to put it together. It says pin cover and lining together. Well, I don't have a lining, so we're not using a lining. And then you're going to do a casing edge on the cover with bias tape. And then you're going to insert elastic into the casing, lapping the ends and stitching securely, and then you're going to slip stitch the opening. So that's there. And then the laundry bag, there's an instruction for a laundry bag down here. So this was a really good pattern to purchase, and I did not pay full price for my pattern. I caught them when they were 50% off, and y'all, it's still a lot of money. So this pattern actually has 3 sheets inside of it for instructions, and then it has instructions in Spanish on the back. So if you're Spanish speaking, it has the instructions on the back in Spanish. So it's very important to read your instructions before you begin a project. Know what direction you're supposed to lay your fabric out in, and a lot of other issues that you might come up with. these pattern pieces did not have a direction. Well, it says crosswise grain right here. So you want to have a little stretch this way on this. So it would have a little bit of give there. But a lot of times when I am cutting out patterns and I don't have enough fabric to lay it out a particular way, I will cheat and turn my pieces. So it may not be perfection, but it's mine anyway, so I use what I have to use. So we're going to get started with the sewing. Are y'all excited? Don't forget to leave in the comments below A, B, or C on that apron, and let me know which bib I should go with on that apron. I think it'll be cute for Christmas. What do y'all think? Okay, I have got it turned. I'm just going to make sure that my corner is straight. And then I'm going to press this when I get all my pieces finished. I'm going to go ahead and press this out. There is the finished back. Excuse me for hiccuping there. And we'll get this corner finished off too, which will just be a little bit of stitching. So that'll be done at the end. Some finagling, but I've got them just about where I want them, and I'm just turning the rest of this to the outside. So we want to get down in this corner and make sure that it is filled out as well. Right there. And there it is, y'all. That's why I made the seam allowances smaller up here, because I knew it was going to be hard to turn these and get them filled out as much as possible, because when I go to sew this, I'm going to be sewing over several layers up in these things, so I want to make sure they're filled out as much as possible. On this last one, they suggest leaving one of these pointed corners open, so I'm going to do that. And again, with a 5/8 inch seam allowance, get my needle in. I got to pull that needle out so it doesn't interfere with the sewing. Ow. And watch for the needles pricking me. At least I'm not bleeding. So we're going to get this started. I am bleeding. Let's try this again, and maybe I won't prick my fingers this time. A 5/8 inch seam allowance, And this is the piece that's going to go across your hanger in the front. Get rid of these pins. And I made my seam allowance a little bit closer to that corner because I'm going to have to turn it. And stop. Get my strings cut off. And I'm going to snip my main curves. Just like that. I got another curve up here at the top. I'm just going to put a couple of snips there just to make sure that it's okay. And then I'm going to snip on this curve. Try not to snip my stitches. And I think for this corner I am just going to clip that and make it a whole lot easier to turn it. And I'm working towards this corner at the other opposite end, and then I'm going to try to turn this inside out, and I'm almost there. And I'm going to push it in with my fingers, and hopefully I can get it pushed through. And we're going to start working it with the scissors a little bit. Now I'm going to go in, reach in and grab it with my fingers. If I can find the end there. Y'all, I am no expert at sewing whatsoever. Just so you know, it takes years of experience, though, to become an expert. I've been sewing most of my life. My mother taught me how to sew with a needle and thread. I think probably before I was even in first grade. And okay, I've got the point out and it looks pretty good. Now I just got to flip this back and get the rest of this coming forward. And we're almost there, y'all. We almost got this piece to the point that we can go iron. And there it is, y'all. So we're going to go over to the ironing board now. Okay, this is this piece. And y'all, it's got a little bit of bulk there. I probably should have just tipped that, and I didn't. But I'm going to press this because I want to get good seams as much as possible. And then I'm pressing out that corner that's open. I'm going to make sure that I have it folded under. And I'm going to press it, and then I'm going to pin it. So let me grab a couple of pins. And I'm going to press the other side, but I'm going to avoid that corner just a little bit. Since the pins are in there, I don't want to melt my pin heads. And I am using a steam iron to do this. So there is the front. This is the inside. We're going to move on to the next piece, which is the back. And I'm going to make sure that I've got everything pulled up around this that I want to have showing. And I'm just going to press it. And I'm at the corner that's open. So I'm just going to turn this under, the seam allowance under, get that pressed. And then I'm going to turn on under the other seam allowance. Just to make sure everything's in there good. And I'll get that corner pinned as well. Now I could just do a blind stitch on this corner and hand sew it, and it would be fine. I'm going to go ahead and press the other side, avoiding that corner though, where I've got my pins. And there is the back and the inside. And we're going to move on to our last piece. And this is the one that's probably going to be the toughest to iron. Got to make sure I've got everything pulled out on this before I start ironing it. And that's looking pretty good. So that's looking pretty good up there. Go ahead and press this side. And I'm going to flip it around. Get this bottom part pressed. And we're going to turn in our corner. Now this is going to be fun because there is a little bit of an overhang that's going to be there, so I'm going to get my scissors. We're just going to clip that corner just a tad. Just a tad right here. Clip, and it's gone. Get all that out of my way. And we're going to fold in our seams. And it's going to be fun because I've got that corner there that I've got to take care of. So I want to make sure that I'm getting that good and pressed. And then I'm going to turn it. I've got a little bit of a hangover there. And I don't want that extra in there, so I'm going to get rid of that. Now I'm going to press this in. And I've got to fold this top piece. These 2 points are not matching up like I want them to. So I'm going to fold this one in. And let's see if we can work this out. I need to fold this in and this in. Just a tad. Okay, so I've got that fairly where I want it to be. And I'm going to give it a really good press. And I'm going to pin it. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking hand stitching is probably going to be my way to go on that corner. So this is pretty much pressed. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to avoid that needle. And I'm going to get the other side pressed. And there's the last piece. All we have now to do is assemble the bag. Let me get this unplugged and I'll be right back. Okay, I have decided I'm just going to hand stitch these corners. And because this is the one that is going to be the most difficult to do, I'm going to start with it and make sure that my knot goes on the inside of my needlework. And I'm just going to stitch this really, really good. And it doesn't really matter that it's showing because this is just something that I'm going to be using out in the yard anyway when I go to hang my laundry out. So just going to make a few little stitches here, catching my thread each time I go through. And it will be a finished piece. I didn't catch it on that one though. Go back and fix that. I'm not the best at hand stitching, y'all. It's been a long time and I have arthritis in my hands, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But you will get the idea here. Well, we're back, y'all. I finally stitched up the last corner there. Like I said, I'm not an expert at sewing by any means, but we're just going to match up the sides and pin. And I think I'm down too low. Maybe I need to start from the bottom. Anyway, you want to pin this, and we're going to try to get this sewn together. And I'm not going to worry about this up here too much. If it hangs over, we can always tuck it in. Got that side done. I'm going to do the other side. Then we'll work across the bottom. So here we go, guys. And I am taking it slow because there is a lot of layers of fabric there. And we're going to turn. And I'm checking my bobbin too because I'm getting low on bobbin. And I might have enough bobbin to finish up this side. We'll see. pins out of here. Okay, I'm going to stop there, and I'm just going to go do a back and forth stitch right here just to make sure this is secured. And I'll go back and do that on the other side. I did not do it over there. We're going to get our threads cut. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut this off because it's going to be on the inside anyway. So there's no sense of keeping that on there. I'm going to go over here and do the same thing on this side. I was trying to decide what I was going to do with that. You have to adjust the pattern according to what your needs are. So just keep that in mind. I am not afraid to adjust patterns when I need to. And this just was not going to go through all those layers, I don't think. So I'm just going to go back and forth over this. Make sure that's good and secure, and I'm going to lop it off. Get all my extra threads off here and just lop it off right there. And I'll remember that if I do this pattern again, I will do that same thing. I can actually go over this with a zigzag stitch and secure it. Make sure that there's no fraying. I've changed my setting to 3, which is a zigzag. And I'm still using the same foot. And I'm just going to zigzag over that raw edge. And I think I need to adjust the stitch size. That's just going to secure that a little bit better. And it doesn't look too awful from the back side. And there it is on the front. So we're going to do the other side. Make sure that it's good and secured. Nice little tight zigzag. Whoop, I lost my thread. And that's just because I don't like raw edges on anything that I do. It's totally optional. Get all my strings cut. And I think that cutting that little tab off is going to help with putting the other piece onto this. So we've got that sewn. Let me reach over here and grab the other piece. And I have to remember I have to leave an opening at the top. So I'm going to put pins where I want my hanger opening to be. And I am just going to line this up over here. And, whoops, knocked my shade off, y'all. And down here in the corner, I'm just going to pin it. So that's going to be one side of the bag. Now I'm going to go do the other side. And I'm going to pin this where I want it to land. And it's going to overlap there. It's even thicker than it was before. So we're going to take our sweet time, and hopefully I can get all this fabric underneath this. And if I can't, I may do what I did with the other piece and just lop it off. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lop it off. So I'm going to take this corner off, and we're going to zigzag that stitch. Just because it was not going to go underneath my foot on my sewing machine. Push all my threads back. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Take this pin out. We're going to dog ear this. Right there. That way we don't have as much fabric to go across. And it'll be well secured. So now I've got that right there. That's fine. I am not worried about that in the least. And I'm going to go ahead and start sewing my seam. And I should have enough on here at least to do one side. So I'm going to start where in my stitch track, and I'm going to reset my needle to 0. And I'm going to get this set right on that stitch track below, because that's where I want to go with this. all these strings off of here. I've got strings everywhere, y'all. Okay, hopefully this will be the end of this. I've rethreaded my bobbin. I had almost enough to finish this project, y'all, on that bobbin. Alrighty, y'all. It took a little finagling, but I got it done. I'll show you all my boo-boos here in a moment. Make sure I got all my strings off here. And turn my machine off. Okay, this is a boo-boo here. I'm not going to fix it. I was having trouble with my needle. And you can see here, I was having trouble with the needle. And I'm off here a little bit on the back. But overall, I did a good job stitching this. So I'm not going to go back and try to fix that. And I'm not worried about stitching this or this. This is just going to be a clothesline clothespin bag. Finished bag. It's not perfect, nor did I intend it to be perfect, but it's done. And I went through my closet, and this is a very thick store hanger that I brought some piece of clothing home on a while back. I looked for a hanger that was going to fit inside this, and this was the best fit. And so I'm just going to bring the hook through there and tuck this in. And there it is. I'm going to fill the bag up, and then we're going to go sit in my chair for a bit. I've got lots and lots of clothespins, y'all. So we're going to get them all in the bag. It's ample big for a lot of clothespins, so that's a good thing. And I've got a few more clothespins on this side. We're going to get them all in there. And it will be used, I guarantee you that. My husband's got a clothesline, the post ready to go in. He's going to have to put them in the ground and get my line strung. But that is the clothespin bag. I think it turned out pretty good. And I'm just going to fold that over for now, and we're going to move to my chair. Believe it or not, I am done with the project. I am excited that my clothespin bag is complete. And it's got plenty of room in there for the clothespins. The little hanger worked out perfectly to hang it on the clothesline, and I can slide it as I go down the line. So that will work out really, really nice. The only thing about this pattern is I think I would make this bottom part a little bit more there. And of course, lop off those ears so that it's not as bulky. But I think I did a pretty good job on it. Y'all tell me in comments what you think about it. And don't forget to do A, B, or C on my fabrics for the green half apron to make the bib for Christmas. Thank you for watching. May you be fully blessed.